there on the for Sheila, because a lot of people joined in. Not the mechanical box, you would know. Yes. So apparently there's quite a few people attending because he said to put on masks or something.
Please join me in Gasho. Naman Dogs, Naman Dogs, Naman Dogs, Naman Dogs.
Yeah, I'm joining the Zoom service.
Naman Dogs, Naman Dogs.
You can see. Nice. One.
Welcome to the first Shotsuki service of 2023. Happy New Year. We will start with Mokuso, silent meditation, and Shomyo, recitation of Namu Amida Butsu.
Naman Dogs, Naman Dogs, Naman Dogs, Naman Dogs, Naman Dogs.
We will now turn to page 10 to 11 for homage and the three treasures.
So we'll be reading both the English and Japanese. For those of you on Zoom, it's on the screen. It's on the screen here as well. Yeah, so we will read the homage followed by the Japanese reading as well. 英語と日本語の3期もいただきたいと思います。日本語は紫の10ページ目になっています。Zoom の皆さん画面に映っています。No one knows. No one knows. No one knows. Homage. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we are hearing them. If we do not gain emancipation in the present life, we may not be free from sorrow in the ocean of births and deaths. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures. We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. Everyone, we go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. Everyone, we go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Everyone, we go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. We will now read the Japanese for those who read Japanese. 日本語で三期問をいただきたいと思います。三期問。人参受けがたし、今すでに行く。仏法聞きがたし、今すでに聞く。好み根性に向かってどせずんば。それにいずれの章に向かってか好みをどせん。大衆もろともに指針に参謀に帰依し立て祀るべし。自ら仏に帰依し立て祀る。まさに願わくは主情とともに大道を体現して無常意を起こさん。自ら法に帰依し立て祀る。まさに願わくは主情とともに各共造に入りて知恵海のごとくならん。自ら僧に帰依し立て祀る。まさに願わくは主情とともに大衆を通りして一切無下なら。無常人人未妙の方は百千万号にも愛を置くとかたし、我今検問し授事することを得たり、願わくは如来の真実義を下し立て祀らん。No one knows. No one knows. No.
Please stand for the Gatha Shinshu Shuka on page 306. Sambujo on page 89, followed by the chanting of Sambutsuge on page 73.
Couple seconds here. Sorry, everyone. Just give me 2 seconds here. No one loves, no one loves, no one loves, no one loves, no one loves. 三部上と三仏芸をいただきます。三仏芸の途中より皆さんの証拠、小月の方々のお名前を読み上げますので、その時の証拠をお願いします。三部上は紫の聖典の89ページと、三仏芸は73ページに載っています。
declaration, which you'll see at the bottom of your page on page 89. We respectfully call upon Tathagata Amida to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon Tathagata Shakyamuni to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon the Tathagatas of the 10 directions to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome.2023年1月小月法要をご一修す。如来栄光の真実心をもって本恩の誠をいたし、仏徳を賛嘆し立てまする。願わくは如来の大慈大悲心をもって、無料の功徳一切主情の上に栄光下回らんことを、南無帰依仏、南無帰依法、南無帰依僧。This morning, we have gathered here in the quietude of Amida's Temple to commemorate the January 2023 Shotsuki Memorial Service, in which we pay our respect and homage to all those who passed on to the Pure Land during this month of January. We faithfully recite the Nembutsu and humbly join our hands in Gassho. May the fragrance of incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of the glory of the Dhamma. And may the lights that burn brightly upon the altar lead our thoughts to Amida's eternal light of wisdom and boundless compassion that dispels the darkness of our ignorance. For those of you who are here at the temple, please join me in reading the English translation, which you'll find on page 79, Yusei 10. Sambutsuge, praises of Buddha. O thou of eminent countenance and immeasurable light, whose dignity is limitless and incomparable. No other light can shine in thy presence. Even the brightness of the sun and moon and many jewels seem like a heap of coal before thy light. The countenance of the Tathagata is incomparable in this world. The voice of the enlightened one is of infinite sound and reverberates throughout the 10 quarters. His morality, endeavors, meditation, wisdom, and virtue are the highest, and have no comparison in this world. The Tathagata deeply meditates on the Dharma of the Buddhas, which is as deep and as wide as the ocean. He fully understands its depth and breadth. Of ignorance, greed, and anger, the world-honored one has none. The divine virtues of the man, the lion, Tathagata, is immeasurable. The virtues of the Tathagata are innumerable and broad. His knowledge is deep. His majestic light illuminates 1,000 worlds. I, Dhammakara Bodhisattva, after attaining Buddhahood and becoming master of the Dharma, may I deliver mankind from birth and death. Dana, sila, forbearance, effort, meditation, is the best. Becoming a Buddha, I shall realize this vow and give peace and tranquility to all who are full of fear. Even though there are hundreds, thousands, of millions of Buddhas, countless as the sands of the Ganges, and even were I to pay homage to these Buddhas, it is better to seek the path and be firm and not retreat. The innumerable and countless worlds of the Buddhas, numbering the sands of the Ganges, shall be illuminated by my light. Thus my efforts and powers are immeasurable. When I become a Buddha, my land will be the first and best. The inhabitants there shall be most superior, the teaching area most excellent. My country will be like nirvana and will be without equal. In my mercy I shall emancipate all. Beings come from the 10 quarters, and they will arrive with a pure rejoicing heart. They shall know happiness and peace in my land. O Buddha, be my witness, this is my sincere feeling. I have made these vows and shall strive towards their fruition. The absolute wisdom of the honored one of the 10 quarters is unimpeded. May the honored one know my intent. Even though my body may undergo eternal suffering and pain, my effort shall never cease, and I shall have no regrets. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. No.
There's 2 incense burners. Takeuchi Shigeyoshi, Tanaka Hitoshi, Tanaka Yoneharu, Tani Ichino, Tarumoto Hamasaburo, Teraguchi Mosaburo, Ueyama Soichi, Ueyama Yoshie, Yamamoto Kazumi, Yamashita Teruo, Yasaki Masami, Yasaki Sueko Suzy, Reverend Grant will now give his Dharma talk. If, sorry, Sensei, if there's anybody else who wishes to come up to offer incense, please come up.
So good morning, everyone. And for those who I haven't seen yet this year, Happy New Year. It's wonderful to see so many people here at our Shotsuki service. I think this is the largest we've had post-pandemic. So thank you all for joining us. And we have close to 50 people, 50 households joining on Zoom. So very nice turnout. Thank you to those who joined by Zoom as well. And Happy New Year's to those who I've yet to first time meeting on Zoom as well. From December, from last year, we started the joint services for the Shotsuki service. So that joint meaning English and Japanese. So I'll be speaking both English and Japanese. おはようございます。また、今年初めてお会いする方には、明けましておめでとうございます。It's coming in okay, isn't it? Okay. So, この12月からは、小月法要、並びに、大きな法要は、合同礼拝とさせていただいてますので、今日も英語と日本語でお話しさせていただきたいと思います。And I'd like to begin my English talk, first of all, and I'm going to read a passage from Shinran Shonin's writings known as the Tanisho. Actually, it was written by his disciple, but this portion we view as the actual words of Shinran Shonin. So if I could ask you to either put your hands together in Gassho or just to listen quietly. I really do not know whether the Nembutsu may be the cause for my birth in the Buddha land, or the act that shall condemn me into hell. But I have nothing to regret, even if I have been deceived by my teacher Honen and saying the Nembutsu should fall into hell. The reason is that if I were capable of realizing Buddhahood by other religious practices and yet fell into hell for having seen the Nembutsu, then I would have dire regrets for having been deceived. Since I am absolutely incapable of any religious practice, hell is my only home. If the original vow of Amida is true, then Shakyamuni's sermon cannot be untrue. If the Buddha's words are true, then Zendo's comments cannot be untrue. If Zendo's comments are true, how can Honen's sayings be false? If Honen's sayings are true, what I, Shinran, say cannot possibly be false either. After all is said, such is the faith of this simpleton. Beyond this, it is entirely left up to each one of you whether you accept and believe in the Nembutsu or reject it. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So once again, good morning and welcome to our first Shotsuki service, our first regular Sunday service. We actually had another Sunday service because January 1st was also a Sunday. So last week we had our New Year's Day service, but this is actually the first regular Sunday service. And, you know, this time of year, the year end, the new year is a time of reflection. And so I thought today I'd like to use this reflection as a theme for my talk. And to begin with, I like, you know, in Buddhism, when we talk about reflection, we have various layers of reflection. So, for instance, a very simple one is, how many of you saw the mirror this morning? Raise your hands. Yeah. How many of you didn't look at the mirror this morning? Okay, few of you. Okay, yeah, but most of us do, right? And what do we see when we look at the mirror, Ray? What do you see when you see a mirror? What do you see? I? Oh, ourselves? Yeah, we see ourselves, don't we? But we're all actually just seeing an image of ourselves. And that's actually, when we see the mirror, that's a very superficial reflection that we're seeing. We're seeing the surface of our being, right? And then there's a little deeper reflection. And in the Buddhist teachings, there's what we call the Jataka tales. And the Jataka tales are a series of stories with morals in it. And often I tell, and I see there's a number of kids here. Maybe I could have the kids all come up front here. Can I get the kids to come on up front here? I see a number of kids. You could come with your parents too if you're shy. You could bring your parents up too. You could sit right in the front row here. Okay. Maybe you might have to push on down a little bit more so everybody could squeeze in. I just in the second row. Okay, that's fine too. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming this morning. So these Jataka tales are a series of stories that have some meaning to it. And I love telling these stories to the kids. And this is one that I've told many times, and some of you may have heard it, but the parents always like this one too. So I'll share this with you this morning, and we'll talk a little bit more about it afterwards. But when we talk about reflection, this story is all about reflection. Okay, so this story happened, and many of the stories of Jataka tale have as the main characters animals, and this story is about a group of monkeys. Okay? And these group of monkeys lived in a very, very hot area, and because it was so hot, they would sleep during the daytime, and they would wake up at night to go looking for food. So one night when the monkeys were out foraging for food, the tiniest monkey, let's see, who's the tiniest monkey here? We're trying to see. Actually, what's the boy's name in the second row there? Andrew. Andrew. So the tiniest monkey, and we'll just name the monkey Andrew for now, okay? Andrew happened to come upon a well. Do you all know what a well is? Yeah, okay. So he saw a well, and he looked inside the well, and to his shock, he saw the moon at the bottom of the well. And so Andrew started panicking, thinking, we have to save the moon. And so then Andrew called all the other monkeys to come around to help. And so they thought, how can we save the moon? And so the biggest monkey, what's your name? Jason. Nathan, sorry. Nathan came up with an idea. He said, okay, come on up here, Nathan. Nathan grabbed onto, come over this side. Nathan grabbed onto the edge of the well and he got in and he tried reaching down to grab the moon, but he couldn't reach it. So he called upon the next monkey. Who you want to call upon? Matthew. He said, Matthew, grab my tail. So he grabbed his tail. Matthew tried reaching down. Matthew still couldn't reach it. So he called upon the next monkey. Who are we calling that? And so Gary came up and he tried grabbing the moon, but he still couldn't reach down. So he called the next monkey. We'll call Gray up. Come on, Gray. And Gray grabbed onto the tail and he tried reaching down. Can you grab it? No, he couldn't reach the bottom. So Gray called, who are you calling up, Gray? What's Caitlin? Peyton. And Peyton tried grabbing it, but she couldn't grab it. So Peyton called, who are we going to call here? Maya. Maya came up and Maya couldn't reach it either. And so then Maya called Wesley. And Wesley couldn't reach it. So finally Wesley had to call upon and Andrew finally was able to reach the bottom, but instead of grabbing the moon, all he grabbed was a handful of water. Now, by this time, Nathan was getting very tired, and his arms were shaking, and he couldn't hang on any longer, and he let go. And all the monkeys fell into the well, and they started yelling for help, help. And then at that time, the Buddha happened to walk by and he looked into the well. He heard this commotion and he saw all these monkeys down at the bottom of the well. So the Buddha got a long vine and he put it down on the well, and one by one, they started climbing up. And they came up. And the Buddha looked at them and said, well, what were you doing at the bottom of the well? And Nathan said, we were trying to save the moon. The moon has fallen into the well. And the Buddha looked in, and sure enough, at the bottom of the well, he saw the moon. But he gently smiled and he pointed to the sky. And what did they see in the sky? The moon. So what was it they saw in the well? A reflection. Thank you. Go have a seat. Okay. Very good. Okay. Now, when we think about this story, okay, so here's two things that happened. One, the monkeys had very good intention, right? This is what we call compassion, okay? When we care about something else, right? They were concerned about the moon. However, good intention alone is not enough, okay? You need wisdom to go along with that, to see the truth, right? So even if you have compassion, you need guidance to go along with that. Okay? So when we think about reflection, this is another kind of reflection. This is what we call an intellectual reflection. We listen to the teachings and we think, aha, okay, I understand this. But there's also another deeper form of reflection. And when we gather here for the Shotsuki service, it's this deeper reflection that we're coming to. And this is the reflection, and thank you to the kids, by the way. If you're comfortable sitting there, that's great. If you want to go back to your seats, you can. But if you're okay there, I'll be just a little bit longer. So the deeper reflection is when we come in contact with our own mortality. Yesterday, I got a notice on my phone, Google Notice. Many of you probably have Google Calendar on your electronic devices. Well, with Google Calendar, you'll get notices periodically. And so yesterday I got a notice that said, it's my Uncle Mac's birthday today, right? And it brought flood of emotions upon me because he had passed away actually March of last year. But when the Google notice comes out and says it's your Uncle Mac's birthday tomorrow, it brought back fond memories, but also memories of sadness, memories of emptiness. And I'm sure all of you who are here for the Shotsuki service as well, when you see either the invitation letter or think about your loved ones, you bring back many different kinds of memories, both good and bad. But this is where we come into the deeper reflection. And this is called the reflection of the compassion of the Buddha. And I wanted to just share with you a story of an individual. This is when I was still in Toronto. There's a person by the name, I'll just give you his first name. His name was Leo. And Leo was actually a manager at quite a high-end hotel establishment in Toronto. And Leo actually, through his career, I guess because of his stance in life, maybe, he had indulged in the excesses of life. Some of them not so good. And so he had come to a point where he had contracted some terminal illness. And so upon contracting that illness, he started going on a spiritual search. And he went and he actually studied and learned about various religions, and he came upon Buddhism. And he said, he came to our temple, and it was near the end of his life. He was at our temple maybe 2 years, I guess. But he had, during that time, he had mentioned, that he had done some things that he's not too proud of. But ultimately, when he came down to the spiritual search, upon coming to the teachings of the Buddha, he came across, particularly, he said, the teachings of Amida Buddha, the Buddha of infinite light and boundless compassion. And what struck him, he said, was that this Buddha, the Buddha, Amida Buddha, accepts us as we are. And he said he found it so comforting to know that even despite the life that he had led, that there was this compassion that accepted him as he was. And he found it very humbling and very comforting. And so when we come to this Shotsuki monthly memorial, and that's what Shinran Shonin, the founder of Jodo Shinshu, found as well. And as I mentioned in the opening passage, Shinran says, I have no regrets if this teaching should lead me to hell, because he said, I am completely incapable of doing practices upon myself to attain enlightenment. But Shinran said, if the words of the Buddha are true, then he lists what we call the 7 patriarchs. He says, Shantao, his teachings can't be empty. And my teacher, Honen, his teaching words can't be empty. And if that's the case, then what I say then must have some meaning to it. And what Shinran said is that we do have this Buddha of great compassion. And as we come to the temple, just as we are, we're accepted. And we're relieved of our suffering, even slightly. We're relieved from our suffering, and we are accepted in compassion, the embrace of compassion. So when we gather here for these services, this is what happens. We have all of our emotions, but the Buddha receives all those emotions as it is. And we leave here in gratitude, and we place our hands together in Gassho. So at this time, if I can ask you, please join me again in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So I'm now going to give my Japanese talk. So if you want to go back to your seats, you can. I'm not going to ask you to act it out in Japanese because it'd be kind of difficult for you. それでは、日本語で一言お話しさせていただきたいと思います。 本日は、1月の正月法要に皆さんようこそお参りしていただきました。この、年末年始というものは、私たち、特にこの、西洋ではですね、よく願をかける時なんですね。自分の人生を振り返ってみたりして、New Year's Resolution というのね、今年はこういう年になりますようにと、願う時期でもあり、また、反省する時期でもあるわけですね。また、この正月法要というのは私たち反省させていただく、また、自分を振り返ってみる、機会でもあるわけです。で、その中で私、先ほど英語でも申しましたが、昨日、実は私の携帯電話にですね、Google カレンダーからメッセージが届いたわけなんですよ。で、Google カレンダーは非常に面白いことに、自分で登録したらですね、誰々さんの誕生日がいついつとか、前の日に出てくるわけなんですよ。で、それ取り消さない限りにはずっと永遠と出てくるわけですね。で、なので、昨日、夕方5時頃にですかね、明日はあなたのおじの誕生日ですよ。ね、で、それを見て、いろんな思いが浮かんだわけなんですよ。で、というのは、私のおじが去年の3月亡くなってるんですけどね、明日が誕生日だって言われると、ああ、そうか、去年の今頃誕生日パーティーを用意してたとかですね、また寂しい気持ちも生まれてきたわけなんですが、この正月も皆さんも、正月の招待状、あるいはカレンダーで見て、今月は誰々の正月と思うと、いろんな思いが浮かんでくると思うわけなんですが、仏教ではですね、この、私たちのすべての思いをですね、阿弥陀如来という仏さんが、すべてそのまんま抱き取っていただけるわけです。良いことも悪いこともすべてですね。だから、お寺に来ると、これは、正月の参りでも言いましたが、この、お寺は心の処理場と考えていいんですね。自分の心の中のいろんな悩み、苦しみをですね、ここに、来ると、阿弥陀様にそのまま預けて、少しでも、お寺から帰るときには楽な気持ちになる。少しでも慰められる気持ちになる。これがやっぱり阿弥陀様の働きではないかということをですね、先ほど、お話しさせていただいたわけでございます。簡単になりますが、この日本語の法話を、合唱で終わらせていただきたいと思います。ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏。Incidentally, just for your information, in the lobby, you'll see a decoration that's right in the entrance of the Hondo here. That's a traditional New Year's decoration, and it was made by one of our members, traditional Japanese decoration. And it has three elements. One is the pine tree, then bamboo, and then traditionally it's a cherry blossoms or cherry tree. And those three have symbols there's very symbolic in Japan. The pine tree lives a very long time, so it's for longevity. And the bamboo is for strength. And then the cherry is for good fortune. So when you leave, you could take a look at that. It's called kadomatsu in Japanese, but that's traditionally put in front of the houses on New Year's. So we just kept it up until today for the Shotsuki. But thank you again for listening to my Dharma talk.
Please turn to page 307 for the Nava on those.
It's on the screen for those that are joining by Zoom. And I'm just
Ryan, could you come up to present now?
Please join me in God's show. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Since today, please stay for refreshments. The ladies have it already in the lobby. If you look at the coming events, please note that Honko weekend will be January the 21st and 22nd at 3 p.m. We will have a special lecture by Reverend Ochi from Toronto, and followed by a potluck dinner at 5 o'clock. And then Sunday, we have the Honko service, also followed by lunch. So you are all welcome to attend with us. Also, it's noted that on January the 29th, we will have our Fujinkai annual general meeting. But someone important is going to be away that weekend. So we've delayed it till February the 19th. So if anyone is a Fujinkai member or want to be one, they could join us on February the 19th at 11:30 a.m. And if anyone has any items for the agenda, please let us know.
So the Hoonko is for Jodo Shinshu followers. It's the most important service. It's a memorial for the founder Shinran Shonin. So that's going to be on the 21st and 22nd. Thank you. And don't forget to come up and take your homeo, and please take the correct one and not somebody else's. Thank you.
Happy and healthy New Year to everybody on the Zoom and the Stevenson Buddhist Temple membership.
They're all muted.
Hmm?
They're all muted.
Mom, the service is over, Mom. Hello?